Hey everyone, Starting Crystal Heart here, doing an Avatar Legend of Korra Season 3, Episode 10, Long Lives the Queen review. I have never done the episodes previous, and I might do them, I'm not sure. I'm a college student and busy schedule, soon to start back up again. What can you do, right? But I just really had to say something about this episode because it was like so holy shit factor. Okay, this will be pretty spoiler heavy since it's just a wham episode. Like, shit goes down, okay? Shit goes down. So, let's get the biggest spoiler out of the way. Zaheer flat out murders the Earth Queen. The way he does it, too. You all know how, like, we theorized Ming-hua killed all those Fire Nation soldiers in, like, Zima. I think it's episode 3 of book 1. Or episode 4, maybe? I'm not really sure. I have book 1 upstairs. I just don't recall the actual episode. But we theorize that he probably killed so many by taking the air out of their lungs, slowly asphyxiating them. Well, Zaheer does that to the Earth Queen. The difference being that Gyatso's was all off screen. Zaheer's, he was all on screen. You see the air going out of her lungs, like, whoosh, like right out of her mouth. Like, and you just like see her like grasping for it, and the air like wraps around her head while she like slowly asphyxiates. It's all fucking on screen. Like, you literally see, like, hear her gasping for air, like as like she can't breathe, and then you just like see close-ups of her eyes going absolutely bloodshot. Like, Zaheer looks so disturbingly calm while it's going on too. It's like, okay, I know Unalog was crazy, but now I'm kind of getting the feeling that Zaheer is too, but kind of like the crazy where you like, it's kind of like a controlled crazy too. There's no other term for it. Like, you know he isn't gonna go snap, like, acts crazy like Azula. But there's definitely something not right up here. I mean, he's a terrorist, so no, but just what the hell? I kind of get it why Nickelodeon took this off, like, the whole Nickelodeon now. I mean, because that shit would probably be scaring like little kids who'd watch the show shitless. It's still pretty freaking awesome though how like they got Nick to sign on to that, considering Zaheer brutally murders a woman on screen. It's like, dude, I mean, they still use euphemisms like took out, but to leave it ambiguous, but there's no way that someone's surviving after that and letting them lose their palace. Well, they say Earth Nation citizens were like looting the palace and all this shit. She's definitely dead. So let's get to the actual episode. Gazan, Ming-hua, Pili, and Zaheer have Bolin and Mako tied up in the back of their truck, driving to Ba Sing Se. And Bolin is striking up conversations with Ming-hua and Gazan. It's like, man, Bolin is like talking to them like, wow, 15 years in prison. Well, that must have been so boring. What did you guys do? It's like, Gazan's like, well, it was actually 13 years and it was dreadfully boring. It's like, then this conversation shifts on what they did. Like, Gazan says he named the constellations like 1,000 different times, while Ming-hua pretty much states like she would make up stories for about cigars, like how one was having trouble with his girlfriend, one secretly wanted to be a pastry chef, and Balloon's like, that sounds fun. Here, I'll do it about you guys. To Gazan, it's like, let's see, your mustache grew in at the age of 10. I can pretty much believe that. You were raised by an older sister, and you and Ming-hua have an unspoken attraction to each other. It's like, and Gazan and Ming-hua just like look at each other like, okay. Like, Bolin actually got 2 out of 3. Our guess too the 2 out of 3, you know. Then Zaheer pretty much ruins the moment, like gagging or taking him into the Earth Queen. And they enter the Earth Queen chamber. She thinks they're bounty hunters and pretty much says like, you know, I don't normally talk with Rifflaff like y'all. It's like, but Zaheer strikes up a deal. Like, he wants the avatar and he'll give Zemima, and if like the Earth Queen gives him the avatar like in secret, that he'll give her the location of the airbenders. Like, so she's like, okay, fine, we'll do that. And later on this comes back to bite her in the ass when she pretty much backstabs him, which incredibly stupid move given the heroes. Yeah, bad impression, but so Korra and Asami are loaded into the prison ship to be taken to the Earth Queen, while Asami comes up with an escape plan. She tells the attendant to chain her to the railing. She's like, it'll be so uncomfortable on the floor. Can't you just chain me to the railing instead? What difference does it make as long as I'm chained up? It's like, apparently a lot, because she rips the railing like right off the wall as soon as the guy leaves. Citing that because it's a Cabbage Corp ship, it's not as like strong, it's kind of a piece of crap compared to the Future Industries one. So she pretty much uses it to lever off a tile from the floor. Tell Korra that to wait 5 minutes and call for help, and like going through the what looks like an air duct. So Korra waits. Meanwhile, now I only saw the episode once, so it might not be in this exact order. But you see Lynn, like, she's driving around, she happens upon Korra's Jeep, and it's like she's investigating when all of a sudden you see Naga like come up like roar, like then it's like Naga realizes who Lynn is and starts like licking her. Pabu like pops his like little head up and starts jumping on Lynn and like running around her in circles. It's so cute. And Lynn is just like, you know, you scare me half to death, and then you want to lick me. Then she pretty much radios Tonrak that she found Korra's Jeep. And then I only saw the episode once, like I said, so You see Bolin and Mako in prison. They're talking to Emma as an inmate, and Mako's trying to get Bolin to metal-bend, but Bolin still can't. I mean, it's probably going to take him a long time to master it if he does. But Korra, goes back to Korra, who starts pretty much yelling for help. And the prison guy rushes in, like, what? Where did she go? Like, and Asami brains him from behind. Then they go tearing off through the ship and till they get to the control room. Korra airbends Zima, 2 guys in there, but manages to damage the controls and bust the radio. So that plan. So Zima cracks the ship and are now marooned in the desert. Then you see this, like, they're talking to the ship's, like, captain and the guys he's with, and they are like, we might be able to repair it, but there's like this ball of sand, like you just like see moving, like some huge creature under it, and it's like, and we'll need to do it fast because we don't want to contend with that. And they're pretty much like, okay, you see them working on like the ship, and they actually manage to repair it, but the sand shark thing comes busting out through the ground and destroys it. So now they're left with making a sand speeder. So Zaheer, meanwhile, all this is going on, Zaheer pretty much eavesdrop on a conversation between the Earth Queen and Gon, who tells her, or not Gon, a Daily agent, telling her that the Avatar has escaped. Zaheer pretty much decides, screw this, goes back to his friends, and you see him bust into this throne room with airbending, like, so I hear the Avatar won't be joining us today. The Earth Queen realizes that he had eavesdropped and threatens to take away the freedom he values so highly and throw him in jail. But Zaheer's like, no, sucks out the air of her lungs, all while giving a speech like that freedom, she's been doing nothing but taking freedom away from her subjects, and that freedom is just as essential as air, and that without freedom, that there's no life, there's only darkness, and you just like see the Earth Queen pretty much all the last bit of air leaves her lungs and her just fall to the ground dead. Well, she falls off screen, but it's on bus stated that she's dead. So they find a communications room. Zaheer broadcasts a message to the city like, the Earth Queen is gone, you're free. Gazan breaks down one of the walls Sabong Sing Se with his magma bending, and you see these citizens like pour in. The death of the Earth Queen was probably the most brutal thing I've seen in the series so far. I saw like when they showed the corpses of the Fire Nation soldiers and like the third episode, like the skeletons of the Fire Nation soldiers in the first book of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I thought that was pretty intense for Nickelodeon standards, but I really do get why they moved it to digital now. I mean, yeah, that's something I think it would scare a little kid shitless. Okay, so then the episode cuts to Mako and Bolin. Mako's trying to firebend his way out of the cell, but it isn't really working. Uh, he's only burnt through a little of the bar. And he's still trying to convince Bolin to metal bend. Bolin steps up and tries, and all of the cell doors, minus theirs, pop open. Bolin's like, well, I did it, but I missed. But it turns out the one who released everyone was Zaheer. Zaheer tells them that he's gonna let them free, but he needs them to give a message to Korra. And you don't hear what the message is because they cut off back to the Asami and Korra's plot. They manage to reach an outpost in the desert, and there's Zuko's dragon, and Korra gets pretty much knocked over by Naga. So they all, like, I guess they go into like a tavern somewhere in the city, or like the outpost city, and it's like you see Tonrag, Lin, and Zuko sitting there in a bar, like kind of like all melancholy, I guess, good term. And it's like Tonrag's like, did you hear about the Earth Queen to Korra? And there's a broadcast playing like, not the Earth Queen has fallen. Looters are pretty much rampaging through the palace and royal city. It's like Tonrag's like nothing. The episode ends with pretty much nothing will be the same after this. All in all, I'd say it was a good episode. I really liked a lot of it, even though I was kind of like stunned over the Earth Queen's like death. I'm just like I said, mind blown. Okay, that's it for today. Please comment on the video. This is my first review, so I'm sorry if it kind of sucks.